everyone. Welcome. I am excited. I'm excited about this day. You want to know why? Do you want to know why? Because on this day, 30 years ago, Metal Gear was released for the MSX or the Super Nintendo or whatever. But it was released on that day and forever changed the lives of video game history and changed the life of Hideo Kojima. It's really been an honor. I have a special guest that's going to be joining me here shortly, and it's going to be a blast. This is the true Metal Gear fans. The true Metal Gear fans, unlike Young, I've totally invited a lot of people to do a lot of stuff in a short amount of time, like maybe a week, because I totally forgot that I was doing this, and I was like, oh shit, that's next week. I need to get on the ball on this. So I promised you guys a while back that I would have fans, Metal Gear fans, to have a conversation about the Metal Gear series. Then, now, and the future. So, I'm making good on that promise. I kind of just like freaked out. I should have planned ahead, but I thought it was like farther away. No, it's like now, So, I have a very famous person in the Metal Gear community joining us. So, thank God I got her on here. I did ask for all the voice actors to do something that didn't fell through, probably because they're really busy and it was a short amount of time. So you can't fault them for that. They at least tried. Hopefully, maybe they'll comment on this or something. I don't know. We're gonna be talking about the boring stuff first. What's your favorite character? Blah 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 blah, and then we'll get to the really good stuff. At the end, we're going to get to the theories. Oh, yeah, we're going to. And then actually, Zach is going to be there. He's going to be the moderator. He's going to be there to not let the thing sink, and if there's any altercation going on, he is there to settle down and everything. So, yeah. This podcast is great. It's been 30 years since the original Metal Gear was released. 30 years of Metal Gear series. I'm very honored, and I owe it to Hideo and the rest of the people for the Metal Gear franchise, because they have helped me so much throughout my life. And you guys are going to hear some stuff that I've explained that it's helped me through depression and stuff like that. I never fully went in details. So you guys are probably going to hear that. You're going to hear something exclusive here. So the topics are pretty much just Metal Gear all the way around. We're gonna see if people want to bring Metal Gear conversations. I've asked people if they want to ask questions. That didn't fall through. However, I know there's gonna be questions about this. It's really, why am I doing this? Well, because I want to do something for the 30th anniversary. It is not part of the event of Konami doing their event thing, but it's pretty much just an homage, to I'm saying I'm nervous about this. I hope this goes good. But it pays homage to Metal Gear. I love Metal Gear franchise. I love it. So, guys, we're gonna go to a quick break. I'm gonna be right back with everybody. See you.
it's not going to be that easy. This whole Peace Walker thing has left our mark on the history of the Old Order. We've put ourselves on the radar of intelligence agencies and governments east and west. The whole world probably knows about us now. We've let ourselves interfere with the times, with the Cold War system of deterrence. We're an army without a flag. We weren't supposed to take sides in international affairs, but we did. We'll be hunted. You're damn right. We upset the global military balance of power. They're gonna come knocking real soon. There's no turning back now. We're a wrench in the old system of deterrence. As long as the times refuse to change, we're gonna make a hell of a racket. The establishment, anybody who tries to restore the old balance wants to snuff us out of existence. It won't be a particular country or ideology that hunts us. We're going to be fighting the biggest beast of all, the times. 10 years ago, the times rejected the boss and killed her. And now, we're the ones being tested. Will the times erase us or work with us? It's gonna be a lonely battle. No good or evil, no winners or losers. Business will have to wait. The question we have to ask ourselves now is, can we survive long enough to see the 21st century? The hunt is on, Kaz, and the whole world's on our tail. Assemble the men.
Boss, Eli and the boys took off with Sahelanthropus again. Now we've tracked their location to somewhere in Africa. Kingdom of the Flies, they call it. Well, unfortunately these boys have got their hands on a nuke. So not only do they have Sahelanthropus, but they have all means.
You don't get the last word, Father. I'll break the curse of my heritage. And to do that, first, I will kill you.
Our revenge has not been yet over.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Reaper Podcast. I have here Buddha Snake. Crap, I forgot your Twitter handle. Dang it. Old Gary.
Old Gray Bush.
Old Gray Bush.
Tell me you've seen Grandma's Boy. Come on.
Yes, I've seen Grandma's Boy. At least I have a bush. Zach from Wacko Zacko and Dudo Rando. And we are here with
What's up?
We are here with the 30th anniversary. Releasing this on the
of the podcast. I mean, we've been around for 30 years now.
30 years. Whoa, the things are popping. 30 years, man. 30 years of Metal Gear. So,
Yep.
we're gonna go around the table. Buddha Snake first. Gray Bush, Zach, and then Zach hasn't. To be disclaimer, Zach only played the first one, but he's starting to learn Metal Gear through me. So
Yeah, I've been picking up like all this stuff. So I mean, like, I probably know more about Metal Gear than your regular person who's only played like one game or something.
Very nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna be like one of you guys someday. Someday soon. I'm gonna be like, you know, like one of the theorists online, like, well, you know, Kojima, da da da. But right now, I'm just like transitioning, I guess.
But before we start, I gotta tell a little story that's funny. Is that he had Zach had a boyfriend who is the bi Brit.
Yeah, he's a co-host on the podcast.
Yeah, which they're not together anymore. But we was talking about Kojima, and when he first saw Kojima, The whole chat was, I want to fuck Kojima. I want to fuck Kojima. Just the entire chat.
Well, to be honest.
So me trying to
we
keep
need to get the vibrant back on the podcast.
Yeah, we do. But me trying to keep a straight face and doing it, and him doing that is just, or he'll pop in and go, "Oh yeah, I want Kojima. Kojima's my daddy." It's just, it's hard not to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel passionately about that man as well. Let's leave it at that.
But like, okay, we're gonna get into the first question, of course. What is your guys' favorite Metal Gear moment?
Oh.
On the NES, when you go into a map and then come back into the same map and the enemies are still there.
The most influential and pivotal moment in the entire game that everybody knows.
Exactly.
Except for the second one. The second one, just, it's totally harder, because I'm going through the second one now and put it on YouTube, and it's totally harder than the first one, and it's like, no, why did you change it the way you did?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I was gonna say, I don't know. There's one moment that's always stuck with me in Metal Gear Solid 1. I guess it's after you use the Nikita to get down there right before your fight with Gray Fox.
Yeah.
That hallway scene, the cutscene, not even gameplay mode, just that cutscene right there that one's always stuck with me. That's that's a beautifully done moment right there.
the Twin Snakes version or the PlayStation version?
PlayStation version.
PlayStation.
I'm a sucker for PlayStation 1 graphics. I love how they're all. It's just.
100%.
That was the
Low
next.
polygon, but it's so memorial in a way, you know, like it was a short-lived era.
Oh yeah. Dorito.
My favorite part, I don't know. I really like MGS4 a lot. Oh, I don't know. My favorite part, yeah, it could be MGS4. There's a lot of nostalgic things in MGS4, you know. And also from MGS1, I love the Psychomantis thingy because I didn't know how to beat them. Recently, I was playing, so I don't know. I think that part of Psychomantis will always stick with me, you know, how to change the controller and stuff. So I think that's my favorite moment with Psychomantis. Also one of the first goals of MGS1, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Between me, it's hard because there's like a lot of scenes.
Yeah.
But my favorite moment was the last of Metal Gear 4 with Liquid Ocelot versus Solid or Old Snake.
Yeah.
Because it's like the end of the long battle between them two. And Solid just wants to end it and wants to be done with it. And he's, they're just struggling between each other. And then when he finally knows the truth, he's just kind of like, are you shitting me? So that's my favorite moment. But the other thing is, what is your favorite? Of course, we know Fuda Snake's favorite character. Yeah. But what is your favorite characters?
Big Boss for me, definitely.
Big Boss, okay.
Yeah, Big Boss.
Just so the viewers know, I'm going to say the boss. So I'm going to say my second favorite. Oh, God. I'm going to need a second.
My favorite's David Hayter.
Good one. Oh, God. I'd probably have to say it's between Gray Fox and... I'll just go with Gray Fox. I'll just go with that.
I'm gonna go with Naked Snake. Like, second favorite is easily Naked Snake because something about building or seeing the origins of the Big Boss legacy and just the innocence that he kind of lost. you know, from that single moment. Peace Walker, I mean, you still see it a little bit with, like, his love for hardware still, you know? Sometimes the innocent comes out, but it still feels like something was lost from that moment. Like,
you should come inside the box. I love that part. But, since we're all, besides Zach, who's getting to know the series, the series has been going on for 30 years, and pretty much there is actually several games that nobody hardly even knows that exist. One meaning, of course, Snake's Revenge, that did exist, that actually Kojima actually liked. I did not know
what
that.
about those PSP games that not that many people talk about?
Acid 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Everybody hated those because it was it's so complicated. I mean, I've got them both.
Alright, complicated is like my go-to.
Yeah, you're the person that plays the game on extreme difficulty from out of the box.
Yeah,
But I mean, I don't know. It's pretty good, but I mean, it's a card battle system. I don't know why people don't even like it. I think it's because the story is not canon. But there's that, and mobile games. There's actually a mobile Metal Gear Solid Mobile.
Wait, so it's not? So the story's not canon?
Yeah, the Acid ones are not canon.
Oh.
The
I can now understand why people don't like it.
Like, Acid kind of like just ignored space and time.
Yeah, it's confusing. It's like you're the real Solid Snake died, but you're a clone. Wait a minute, you're this guy. No, you're a clone. It's like, what? You know.
Yeah.
That's basically what the game did throughout. You know, it just confused the player.
They should have just made a single. They should have just made a story that has to do with like a throwaway character, Red Shirt, who isn't going to show up in the main series.
Well, they kind of tried to do that with Raiden, I think, but then he became his own character.
Yeah.
You know,
I can see how at the time he was so hated, but now, like, after really getting through 2 and seeing the story really unfold while I'm playing it, like, actually, like, maybe he's my second favorite, next to Gray Fox. It's probably Raiden. I like his origin story.
The legacy.
Yeah.
Cyborg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He becomes the ninja.
Yeah.
It's like Metal Gear Awesome. It's like, Raiden, you were such a pussy, but now you're a badass.
No, he had emotional intelligence, which is what I don't think a lot of killing machines, as he put it, would have. So seeing that was very interesting. Everybody's like, oh, he's such a pussy, and it's like, well, no, he's actually like emotionally processing things like a person his age who's gone through what he's gone through would process things. So I don't know. I think it was just at the time when it came out, people didn't really.
Nobody likes
like now.
Right? Like, it was a very hyper masculine like society at the time.
Mm-hmm.
America's running under Bush at the time, so.
Yeah.
Like, Metal Gear Solid 2 came out just after like 9/11, right? So
Mhm.
it was a very tense atmosphere already, where it was like, we need to be macho, we need to be able to take down everything. So Kojima honestly released like a feminine man into media at the perfect time.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, interestingly enough, this isn't really actually Metal Gear, but just a little tidbit of information if you guys don't know. But Grand Theft Auto 3 actually got changed because of 9/11. It was just an overall like there were some little things that were changed, like the cop cars, and it was moved back because it was going to be released around September, and then 9/11 happened, and they were like, shit, fucking no, we're not doing it right now. Because
there was an album that released that had like the rappers blowing up the Twin Towers. It came out the same day. It was like, what? Or, like the day before, I think, or something.
That's spooky. But like Yeah, it's like, yeah, the creators of Grand Theft Auto were like, you know, they were really just freaked out because it's like, this is the most tense time, and, you know, they couldn't go back to work for a little while because they were at ground zero pretty much. Like, their studio was at ground zero, so they had to, like, yeah, it's crazy. But then they had, they were gonna cancel the game, but then people were like, no, don't fucking cancel the game, just continue on, just change some things. They're like, okay.
Well, like, same goes for Metal Gear 2. They were going to have a whole crash sequence, and then they kind of just cut that out and just made it to where it's like, oh, magically we're right here, you know.
Yeah, talk about blue balls. I'm like watching that thing go under the bridge, and I'm like, here it comes, here it comes. Wait, what?
It's like whiteout. It's like, wait, what? But how'd you guys feel about, since you finished Metal Gear Solid 2, have you seen the graphic novel at all?
I can't say I have.
In the graphic novel, it's changed a little bit. And at the end, Solid Snake kills Solidus.
Instead of riding?
Instead of riding.
That's weird.
And then, well, like, something happens to Raiden. I think he got knocked out. And then Solid comes in and tells him he's a bad parent. And then slashes him with the sword. And there was there was another cut content was when Solidus dies, Raiden was supposed to cut the pole and the flag was supposed to come down on Solidus.
Over his body.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they edited that out, and I thought that wasn't pretty good because he was like a terrorist, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
who is also the president.
George Sears.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, his name's George.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, conspiracies!
I actually play, like, Metal Gear Solid Rising anymore, or Metal Gear Rising.
Would you guys want Metal Gear Rising, the original story, to come alive? You know, the events between 4 and 2?
I'm gonna sit this one out. I have no answer for this one.
I'd be interested, but I mean, I don't really know it, so.
It's supposed to be about this.
Can you repeat the question? Like,
would you guys want to see the original story concept, how Raiden became a human to a cyborg in 4?
Oh yeah, like going to like Area 51, absolutely. Like,
oh, that would be really neat.
Yeah, why not? You know.
Sort of where agents captured him. Like,
yeah, they captured him when he got Sonny, and he gave Sonny over, and all of a sudden he got turned into a cyborg. But what was the other? There was another. Oh.
Like, I need like entire list of like.
The Gray Fox concept that Kojima actually brought up was he wanted to see Gray Fox fight nanomachine zombies.
Oh yeah, that Rising sequel that wanted to feature nanomachine zombies, but also like this whole like Metal Gear Survive drama. We've got zombies in Metal Gear Solid 3 they're spirit zombies, not really walking zombies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The nanomachine zombies, literally in Metal Gear Solid 4. Oh wait, no, they're dead bodies reanimated. Then Peace Walker, you've got ghosts. And then Metal Gear Solid 5, you literally have a zombie army run by a zombie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, oh, well, this game is not about zombies, it's about espionage.
Zombies are never gonna be in Metal Gear. That's weird. Like, oh yeah, okay.
And
I roll.
Not to mention, they have a track called "How About Them Zombies," eh?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
exactly.
It's so plainly obvious once you conclude into everything, but it's beautiful because it's a game about camouflage, right? Like it's all about being a spy and trying to hide things, right? And he's hidden this entire thing in everybody's plain view. Like he has it camouflaged, and it's the most brilliant or genius thing I've ever seen happen in like 21st century media, because really nothing like this has ever happened since War of the Worlds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which
And-
is probably why he put that little, Swedish radio transmission in PT, just to remind us
Exactly.
that this is what I'm doing again.
Well, he's beating us over the head with it. Like,
Mhm.
some people are just like, their skulls are too thick to let the bad in, you know? Like, it's...
Well, like before E3, I kind of got over too hyped. Was because I tweeted Jeff and was like, you know what's going to happen, don't you? And I put the GIF of Hideo taking off the mask for the Phantom Pain, revealing that it's him. Jeff actually liked that one, and also liked my comment about writing down the timeline on the note. And not to mention, it was fucking weird. I came home and I looked, and I should have fucking screenshot it. But it said the top 5 people of my followers, and he had me at the top of the list. But he deleted the tweet. So I hit it, and then it goes, it cannot be... I'm like, what? Wait a minute. And I screwed up. Because I'm like, there's my evidence right there that he knows, that we know,
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy who wrote the fan...
so much of
The guy who wrote the fan book, he actually knows what's going on. Because he goes, I don't know how, I don't know when, but what if Kojima's going to do it again? And had Kojima Productions, Konami, E3, and Kojima sipping a teacup.
Yep.
But at the same time, when I met Ryan, his words to me were basically like, I just did the music for him. I don't know what Death Stranding is. And previous reports I've heard of Kojima getting voice samples from voice actors and stuff disguised as something else, but now it's like, oh, it's actually Metal Gear Solid. Now he ensures people only know what they need to know, right? Like, it's all need to know basis. So it's like, oh, I want this actor, and I know they'll take this job. This actually, it's this thing, which I mean, they're going to be happy with either way, right? So.
Yeah.
A gig is a gig is a gig.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, oh, I'm actually just doing a small-time commercial to like, oh, I'm actually in Metal Gear Solid, right?
Right.
That would be weird.
I'm gonna complain about it.
Well, like,
May shows up in Metal Gear Solid, but wait, there's more.
That's the entire series in a nutshell.
Yeah. Oh shit. Ugh.
but the one thing that gets me is that he's doing all this. I mean, he's even telling the fans, I like messing with the fans. I like doing a mystery. It's all
Betray your audience.
betray your audience. And then people are just like going, no, it's not Metal Gear. It's
Well,
Death
there's
Stranding.
nothing. Well, at this point, I'm pretty much convinced that there's some just like Konami agents in the like community. They're just like, I have to say no to all this because it creates drama, and like,
Yeah.
I don't even know if like these people are like could be totally decent people who are just literally trolling. You know?
Yeah.
I have to be an asshole on the internet, so I'm going to be an asshole on the internet. Like, I'll take that job.
Here's a weird question referring to camouflage. I was just wondering if anybody here knows what the background of the military advisors who have worked on the games are. I don't know. I'm just saying, it just popped in my head. I was like, okay, well, if we're dealing with people who have experience in PsyOps and doing stuff like that, well, that's who he's learning from. Kojima is learning from. And that's that's the example he's going to follow. So he's following, military protocol with compartmentalization, with projects, building projects. He's following, I'll stop now because I'm probably sounding nuts, but
No.
does anybody know what these people, what their background was in the military to be advisors?
Are they credited in any of the games or anything?
Yeah. Usually you'll see like military advisor, and one of them's like Matsushiro Moda or something like that. I can't. My Japanese non-existent.
I have no clue.
Yeah, well, it's like any writer is like my first ex, she was a writer, and it was like she would source every single piece of information. She would research, like, oh, I'm going to use a drug for this book. I need to know exactly what the side effects are. She would go to message boards and see how people talked about it, right? Like, it's so involved when you're a writer. Like,
it's
every little piece connect.
Isn't it like Gonzo
Like
journal?
somebody like calling you out on your shit.
Isn't it Gonzo journalism almost?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's like some of the most interesting like documentaries or journalistic pieces you could ever read or watch, because that's where they throw themselves in the middle of it. Like there's this guy online who like he had this entire documentary series on like drugs or whatever, but what he did was he would take the drugs and then make the documentary about like the experience or whatever. It was weird, but I don't know, that shit kind of interests me.
But those are always like the most real stories, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's why I try to live an adventurous life, because I like stories. I like storytelling for that purpose. Of like, that's all you got in this life. You got your memories. You got your experiences.
Exactly.
That's right.
Mhm.
It's I think Gonzo journalism started with the guy who did the book for Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah, I think so. I forget his name, but yeah, that's where it started, if I'm not mistaken. Because
Mhm.
like that was based on a lot of the shit that happened in that was based on like experiences he had and whatnot.
Yeah, he was laid to rest, about 30 minutes, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes from where I live, in Golden, Colorado.
Yeah.
I love that guy. I've read a lot of his work.
Oh yeah, he's a legend.
It's
I saw this one, I think it was one of his documentaries where he like gets high on fucking acid, and then they had to like bang the door down to get him. And he's rocking the corner, like talking to himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, it's just like one of those things. And then Johnny Depp playing perfectly in the movie.
Johnny
Oh,
Depp's
yeah.
becoming him perfectly in life now.
Well, not perfectly.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, of course,
I'll
he's,
let you guys go back to Metal Gear. I just kind of little detour there.
that's good. But we were talking about John Cryon, who actually passed away, or Crigon,
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce his name. That he did a wonderful, badass Solidus snake. I couldn't imagine anybody do it better.
Yeah.
And what was the most point that you're like, maybe Solidus is right, in Metal Gear 2?
At this point in life, I'm pretty much positive that humans are too stupid to rule themselves, and that we need like, I'm okay with the Patriots at this point, because I mean America just elected Trump, like, Senator Armstrong just won, so like, maybe the Patriots weren't actually the bad guys.
Oh, that's a whole nother discussion right there. There's a lot to go in that one. Oh man.
The Reaper podcast political episode.
Right.
Exactly.
Would you,
Get everybody flagged by the government.
Oh, you're dead, right?
I get Infowars Alex Jones in here,
Oh.
like.
oh,
Oh,
Lord.
please no, please no. Anybody but that motherfucker.
But but I mean, like, throughout the game, you're like, maybe he is right about the Patriots and all that. And what's weird is that, I mean, I don't know, the thing is, Solid Snake is just not, like, he doesn't either give a shit about the Patriots, or, of course everybody says he's a pawn, which, you can see it. But don't you think, Solid Snake actually done what Solidus wanted to do all along?
In what way do you mean?
Because he actually got suckered into destroying the Patriot system in 4 and doing exactly what Solidus wanted. He wanted freedom.
Mm.
And Solidus, Big Boss, and Liquid all had the same goal that they couldn't achieve, but Solid did.
I think that was maybe because of his, that part where he's like, you know, you need to find something to believe in. And Ryan's like, what? And he's like, I can't help you with that. Maybe that's why, as his understanding of the situation he was in, he was like, this is all I know how to do. But at least I'm not going to do what I know how to do or I'll try to do it for the greater good, you know? And maybe that's what...
Justice not as a weapon, right?
Yeah.
Sort of justice.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I don't know, the Metal Gear franchise between that and what's even weird is Dr. Magnar's situation in Metal Gear 4.
Don't even get me started on Magnar, right?
You know, because there was no response from Solid when he mentioned Magnar. I'm like, dude, come on, Magnar, you know. So, I mean, what's you guys' interpretation on that? I mean, was Solid like, screw Magnar, or was he like, you know, just it didn't register?
I was completely devoid of 4 in my life. Like, completely, like, none of the marketing, like, 4 almost didn't happen in my existence. So I'm now having to go back and learn all that. So now I'm
back, like, replay 4, so you're not alone with that. It's again, it's mostly cinematics.
I'll just YouTube it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like,
which Metal Gear game was it where the cutscenes were so long that your controller would just turn off?
MGS4, man.
I think it was 4.
It probably was.
Yeah, MGS4.
I remember someone saying that there's a Metal Gear game where the cutscenes were so long your controller would just turn off and be like, okay, I guess that's the end of that.
That'd probably be 4. I've heard that's...
Yeah, no, that's definitely 4. Can you... Okay, what were we talking about, Reaver? Can you just, like... in regards to Magnar,
yeah.
Where, like, when he's... Snake, it's brought up to Snake, right? Like, he just, you know...
Yeah, when Raiden was saying that Magnar can help me, and you know, like Snake has dealt with Magnar in Metal Gear 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You know,
like he was the one who created Oil X, which is a whole different thing in regards to Death Stranding being all about oil, right?
Oh yeah.
But what gets me most with Magnar is the fact that he was the one who was supposed to be rebuilding Big Boss, right? Like, he was the one who was supposed to turn him to a cyborg and stuff. And you don't, like, if Venom is Venom and certain parts aren't retconned, it's like, shouldn't that have been Magnar? Like, for bringing, like, I don't know. Because the stories that Big Boss has was he was rebuilt as a cyborg, right? So Magnar was involved in that, and he brought Big Boss back from basically just being a head, which is a whole different thing in regards to the head transplant, right? Like, it's...
Yeah.
But basically, like, Magnar is supposed to be this big pivotal character, but he's not really seen, you know? Like, he's not seen at all in Metal Gear Solid 5, despite him being the guy who's supposed to rebuild Big Boss. So, it's... He's one of those ghost characters, honestly, I'd have to say.
Oh yeah. And the one thing that gets me is that it's like, well, why didn't he say anything to Solid at the end of 4? And it's like, well, because he wanted to keep a secret. It's like, no, he was... I think either the Big Boss in 4 is either the real one or he's Venom. I can't say which.
I have a feeling it's Venom. Just from like just a weird feeling of watching some of the cutscenes, some random videos that I've seen online and stuff. I'm like, this just feels like a continuation of what I've been playing, because I was playing 5 at the time. So it's like this doesn't feel like the Big Boss.
Theory. So I mean, Metal Gear Solid doing everything with revenge and stuff. It does make you think that it could be Venom, right? Like it's Richard Doyle doing the voice of Big Boss at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4, and I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's not David Hayter talking to David Hayter, but it's still like, oh, you've changed the voice here. And I mean, that's another thing is people complaining about Kiefer, like, oh, Kiefer can't replace David Hayter, but they already replaced the voice of Big Boss once, you know? Like, it's... Why is this such a big deal? It's people like to cry about spilt milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have a question. You know, why they changed the voice of with Kiefer Sutherland in this Metal Gear, but in the Japanese version they didn't change the original voice actor for Venom, I think, for Rick Ross.
The same reason David Hayter said, "Oh, I hope I don't lose my voice this E3."
It's pretty much to confuse.
There's so much misinformation, right?
Yeah.
It's an information war. Like you can control the information. You can add misinformation. You can add rumors. You can add lies. You can add everything.
So,
how do you see the truth through all of it, right?
My question is, when does conspiracy and kind of, elusiveness turn into almost unprofessionalism? Because, like, I think one of the first episodes I was on this podcast...
This is that embodied, right?
One of the first episodes I was on this podcast, we talked about, how, this whole Kojima and Konami thing might have just been a show for a publicity stunt, and then someone brought up the fact that it can't be a publicity stunt because they're losing a ton of shit, and there's a bunch. There are people who will apologize for the way that Kojima, or not Kojima, but like Konami and a lot of different things are working because because like they're like, oh yeah, it could be this, it could be that, but you look at it a different way. You're like, wait a second, business wise, why would they do this? You know what I mean? So I guess my question would be then, why? I guess when does when do people realize that you can't always apologize for someone? You know what I mean?
Or what you said earlier about when does it become unprofessionalism? And
yeah, exactly.
In the realm of secrecy, there is no such thing as unprofessionalism.
True.
It's all unprofessional.
But here's the thing: professionalism is nothing but illusion, right? Like, you're putting on a facade whenever you're going to your job, doing whatever. You're putting on a whole different personality.
Yeah.
Because I have to be professional. I'm in the public eye, and honestly, I would just rather a business be unprofessional because it shows that they're a little more human than most other corporations, So Konami pulling this off shows that they actually give a damn about their fans, and they give a damn about Metal Gear. These AI to control the world and blah blah blah. Like it's all about conspiracy theories, and all Kojima and Konami have done is turned that meta. It's broken the fourth wall. Like now, Metal Gear Solid itself is a conspiracy theory, right? Like it's unprofessional, but at the same time, it is the most goddamn brilliant thing I've ever seen in my life. Like it's like he's hiding. He has a name drop in Star Wars. He's
okay, that was weird.
At the same time. Like it's you can call it unprofessional, but at the same time, I say that's the most brilliant MO. Like it's.
I'm not saying it's all unprofessional. I'm just saying, like, what would you consider unprofessional? What would you consider just being cool or secrets or whatever? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where's the line in unprofessional and
is talking to like the citizens of America through Twitter and insulting journalists and trying to turn them right? At a certain point, what's professional anymore, right? Like the world's most powerful man is like just shit talking on Twitter, right? Like it's he has codes and billions of dollars, and it's okay to shit talk. Like, all right. Like,
well, also, that doesn't really explain what my question here. I was more talking about the Metal Gear and whatnot. You went over to Donald Trump.
Whoa.
I'm talking about conspiracy, though, right? Like
it always comes back to Trump.
Exactly.
Everything's about Trump right now. Everybody's talking about Trump.
Speaking of Trump, did you see that GIF that he tweeted out? That was a dank meme.
The dude's not an idiot, right? Like, everybody's talking about Trump, so he's winning, right? That's the thing to do is ignore him, but you can't ignore the guy with the nuclear guns. Like,
it takes more than just hitting a button. Like, I know he has to go through like a bunch of different people and whatnot. It's just like everyone's like the nuclear codes. Yeah, but he's got to go through like a ton of people to actually.
All is, right? Like a little briefcase he has around him that he can like pop open and like launch nukes at any given moment.
He just walks there like, "Hey guys, here's the nukes." Alright, but yeah, alright, we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah. No, but all I'm saying is that professionalism is an illusion. So, in order to say something is unprofessional, really, I mean, you're just putting on a label, right? Like, what behavior at a certain point becomes unprofessional?
Okay, I guess your point. I'm just more talking in the gaming industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. Is he's breaking a mold, right? Like,
yes.
Lying to your audience is not a thing most people do, right? Like, it's.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean,
what about? I guess another question is like, what about the people who aren't as involved with this as as we are? You know what I mean? Like, I say we more like the collective, but you know what I mean? Like, what about the people who are just kind of passerbyers? You know what I mean? Who are just like, what the hell's going on there? You know what I mean? Like, there's that whole fuck Konami thing for a reason. If it is just a show, they're losing potential customers with a big publicity stunt.
But on the flip side of that, imagine suddenly, like just in the sense of, I know PT wasn't Silent Hill, but let's just say he's still working on it. I mean, this is totally speculation.
At the same time, it still very much is Silent
Hill. Exactly. But my point is, if it comes out all of a sudden, like like PT did, where everybody's like, going about my life, and then, oh my god, what just happened? And then it happens like that on a huge scale, where now you can just literally like download it from PSN or whatever. That is, I don't know.
It's gotta be paying attention to something right now, you know?
Yeah.
just keep your eye on massage.
Yeah.
But the way my friend actually put it, there is no such thing as bad publicity.
Exactly.
True. True.
You could do anything you want, but as long as people are talking about you, it's all publicity.
People dislike me because it's like, oh, FIB, but at the same time, what are they doing? They're just talking about me. Everywhere I go, every Discord chat room, it's like, oh, Fuda said this, and it's like, great, like, make me this big boogeyman that I'm not, but I'll talk about me, I'm okay. Like, make me bigger than I am. Like, everybody knows who I am, everybody knows what ideas I've put out, so it's like, alright, on the off chance I'm right, I'm just taking over the internet.
Yeah. That's no joke.
As I said, it's all about planting seeds, right? Like, now everybody knows who FIB is. I mean, just the username I made up for GTA 5 that just so happened to be like, oh, hey, somebody's telling the truth, but at the same time with a name of a lie, so it's contradicting, blah, 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 so it sticks in my mind. I mean, it was a perfect name that I kind of came up with accidentally.
And now it's become this legendary thing.
Yep.
Well, it's like, it's the whole thing of Big Boss, right? Like, it's all about bringing the legend to life, and it's like, everybody knows the story of FIB, this phantom on the battlefield,
exactly.
and you're like, fucking bullshit up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, all your theorists away from your subreddit.
But, speaking of theorists, it's never be game over. People are just, I can't stand over there no more. I mean, it's not.
Well, it's not so toxic.
Yeah, same here. Same here, don't worry.
Let's get rid of the shitheads. You know, like, just be like, I know this person contributes nothing. He makes every discussion toxic. He starts just like shitting on people's theories right away. Doesn't actually give them a chance. Anything. Delete them. Problem solved, right? But no, instead, Nuclear Snake goes ahead and hires a literal fucking meth head. Like, he's bragging about this in Discord, how he and his friends enjoy snorting coke and meth. And I'm like, yes, that is the moderator you want running your subreddit, right? Like, you know,
well, I'll be seeing all kinds of shit posts, but then when I post a video, just putting it out there or posting something, it gets shit on fast. Like, people call me retarded or whatever. But then it's okay to post memes and shit posts. It's like, what?
Are we talking? We're talking about a Discord server, right?
No, Reddit.
Right? moderators
Reddit.
have
Okay.
what they like. They're gonna
You know-
promote behaviors that they like.
Mhm.
So if you get a bunch of shithead moderators, guess what? Your subreddit's gonna turn to shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like when
Like,
the
I'm-
letters, I don't know, when the letters happens in the Death Stranding trailer, a lot of people, it was like a serious thing, you know, but people were just like, oh my god, I found these letters in the Death Stranding trailer, and this the fucking Death Stranding letters, you know. I don't know,
Yeah.
that's and it happened in the two Reddits, and never became over, and it's running Reddit. I don't know, I really don't like that community right now.
Mhm.
Tell me about it. But,
If
like,
anybody knows.
on that topic right now about that letter find, right? Like, people are talking about, oh my god, all these letters, and I find Kojima. Nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, oh, somebody's like, oh, I found an O here. Everybody's like, oh my god, I'm losing my shit. Like, upvotes. I'm like, oh, hey guys, I solved it. People are like, fuck off, Fuda.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry. Like,
They're like, we wanted to do it. You're too smart for us.
Yeah, like Young said, like, what's the point of, I don't know, just putting Kojima
Okay,
in your own game, no?
When running a community or whatever, or looking at a community, you have to look at the base or the age group. Like, what is the age group of this Reddit? We got a mod who's snorting fucking meth. So that says something there.
also, like, always shit talk me about, like, oh, you dirty tranny faggot, blah blah blah. Like,
Okay. There's a reason. Now there's a reason that this person is the mod, and it usually has nothing to do with the fact that they're actually a competent mod, or has everything to do with
because they hate
politics.
me. Everybody there hates me, so they're like, hey, guess what? This person hates Fuda the most, so he will watch out for Fuda. It's like, I'm not a boogeyman, guys. I'm just trying to help, right?
Yeah. It's a community for helping, but then when you shit on somebody, it's like, oh, fuck y'all then, you know.
Yeah, well, that was one thing I always brought up in that community was, like, as soon as you shit on somebody's idea, why do they want to contribute again, right? Like, that's the thing about conspiracy. Like, the biggest problem with conspiracy is as soon as you start talking about it, you're insane, right? Like, it's something that goes against the grain. Like, oh, the media is actually lying to you. It's like, no, it's not, blah, blah, blah. People are going to admit that because that's the reality they live in.
Mhm.
But if you suddenly shit on somebody who's, like, you know, telling you these things, why aren't they going to tell you about them anymore, right? Like, there's nothing welcoming about that. So my thing was always, like, just fuck the haters, post what I post, make alt accounts, get shadow banned, make alt accounts, get shadow banned. Just keep coming back because all I'm trying to do is educate, right? Like, I'm not there for the fucking flame wars. You set up, you know, you throw a rock at me, I'm throwing back a Molotov. Like, I'm gonna win this fight. You're gonna think I'm a big bastard, right? Like,
Yeah, like, the point is just to plant the seed there, you know?
yeah.
Mm.
It's just, if you get rid of the shitheads who shit on everybody's theories, guess what? People are gonna theorize more. It's not rocket science.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't understand why people, like, some people are with Python Selkan theories, like, oh yeah, MGSPT and that shit. But then when it comes to everyone else, like someone randomly, you know, for example, you, Fuda, and you post, like, you know, Death Stranding is MGS. Nah, you're fucking crazy, man. That's bullshit. But then again, it's just fucking, like, supporting Python Selkan theories, you know?
Mhm. The young supporters.
Uh,
That's
Exactly.
enough said right there.
yeah.
I thought we were making this political.
Sorry.
But the thing is, between Python Suckin and Young, they are like the media of. I mean, Python Suckin does pretty good, but they're the essential media for the Metal Gear community. As far as YouTube,
Right.
Young, first of all, Young's not even a Metal Gear Solid fan. It's just-
No.
I mean, yeah,
No.
he's a fan, but he didn't start out like Python Falcon. I mean, they did their own thing too, but their biggest claim to fame was Metal Gear Solid theories, right? Young originally, I think, came from like Minecraft or some other thing, right? Like, it was just a YouTube star who wanted to make money off Metal Gear Solid now, right? That's why he makes a fucking 8-minute video bragging about, like, oh, Kojima waved.
Yeah.
Oh, I smoked a joint with Ryan of Lower, alright? Like, You want to talk about weaving?
I can't wait to meet Ryan.
Kojima, look! Kojima waved at me! Guys, let's make a video on it!
Talk about how much I'm not bragging about Kojima waving at.
I don't want to brag, but...
No, it's like, I'm not bragging. I'm not holding this as a trophy. It's like, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
That's why it's gotta,
you wouldn't be making this video if you were. We actually talked about this on the last episode. Like, the last episode of the podcast, me and Reaver talked about this.
Yeah.
You know, if Kojima tweeted him, he wouldn't make a video going, "Ah, everyone look, Kojima tweeted me, hey!"
People mistake why I post pictures of Kojima tweeting me, and why, like, oh, he's tweeted my music, whatever. The reason I'm doing that is to give myself some sort of credibility, because you're gonna call me fucking insane in the first place, right? Like, it's not so much that I'm holding it as trophies of, like, I am better than you. It's just like, yo, you gotta actually listen to me. You gotta sit down and listen to what I'm saying a little bit, because I might know something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
I sent pictures to this Discord group. It was like, oh, Death Stranding, Discord, blah, blah, blah. I sent pictures of me hanging out with Glover, and they said it was Photoshop. Like,
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
what proof
I
do you
have the
want?
proof
I've got
here, man.
credibility here. Yeah, exactly. Like,
It's like you could get him on you could get them on a video call or a Discord call. Oh, it's an impersonator.
well, exactly. It's like, yeah. See, like, I wrote that for
Thank you, man. Thank you, Ryan.
there. It's like I literally met Ryan. I was like, I don't have enough money to buy a CD. Could you help me out? And he's like, I guess so.
And what's funny is this: all these people, they love us that theorize and all that, but it's like they won't make time for other people that don't want to get on the bandwagon. You know, like Young, who, you know, oh, Kojima's busy.
Since the start of this, it's not so much that I'm trying to break secret right up. I mean, that would be lovely. Have a news report be like, oh, somebody has solved the Konami drama, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that would absolutely be lovely.
Whistleblower.
I know that's not going to happen until the real happens, because this has been in the works for like 10 years. So, like, let's be real. Kojima is making sure this doesn't happen. He's fucking ready for it. So all I can do is save as many people from getting fooled in the end before that point. And that has been my mission since the start, of just being like, inform as many audiences as you can, fight whatever, make people remember who you are. Because, like, I'm going to remember who I fucking hate more than somebody I, like, oh, I interacted with the person online, you know? Like, that's why I'm okay with drama. It's like, I'll throw back Molotovs, because at least you're going to remember me. You're going to remember to avoid who the fuck I am, right? Like,
And what gets me too is the whole. Of course, I talked about this where I tweeted about nuclear disarmament as a way to Chapter 3 EPs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a way to that. Konami retweeted about being tagged. And there's this guy who tweeted like 20 times to get Young to do a video about it.
Oh.
What did Young do? Young totally ignored that guy, didn't say anything. But guess who made a video about it? Python Selkin.
yeah.
You know.
Well, everybody runs out there on the chat.
So have we ever figured out why Young blocked Reaper?
Because he's a dick.
Because he's young. Because he's young.
I don't know, but the only day I don't know what who I was telling this, but I was telling that Young is just dividing the community, you know, and he has a really good audience, you know. He has like that's trending theory video. He has like 30K or 50K people watching it.
Yeah, no, he's got a great platform. Like,
yeah, and just imagine if he will make a video about, I don't know, the tweet of Reaper Phantom, and said, you know, guys, let's group up, let's make this happen, let's see what happens, and let's disarm it. You know, let's disarm all the things.
With both Young and Python, I have sent many theories, many ideas, everything else. I have done nothing but try and actually cooperate with these people. Because
yeah, exactly.
four of the biggest theorists in Metal Gear Solid history working together might be able to accomplish something, right? Like, but instead, no, they've all just ignored me. Like,
Here's the thing. It's all about. I feel, in my personal opinion, that Young. I don't know. I can't speak about Python because I don't really know that much about him. But I know, at least in Young's case, I've checked out some of his content, and I've realized. I mean, I'm not in this community in the slightest, but you know, I'm one of those people who will sit outside and kind of like watch from a distance, like, okay, you know, I pick up on little things. He is there because it's making him money, it's getting him views. You know what I mean? He's not there because he actually enjoys anything. You know what I mean?
He is a lifeless, soulless creature.
He's a poser.
Right?
Careful, Zag. Don't tell the truth too much, man.
Well, I mean, I have nothing to lose here. I'm alienating myself in this community before I'm even in it.
I don't know.
It's a good road. Don't worry. Like Kojima himself has said, if you're pissing people off, you're doing the right thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, fair enough.
Yeah.
I was just using him as a good joke.
No, absolutely.
It's the new meme, you know?
Yeah, it is. Okay, no more meme though.
Oh god! Wait, I just want to say one last thing before we move on. I'm really waiting for Young to be the Metal Gear Steve Shives.
Oh man.
Again, I can't wait for him to delete that video because I'm gonna upload it again, and hey, I'm gonna take all his, well, not all his. I'll get some subscribers, right?
But what's funny is that there's a video of him saying that he had fun with Survive and that it was a good platform game that he could actually, play and all that. I mean, praising the game, but then he uploads a thing about, what they supposedly did to Kojima and people.
I'm not buying.
Yeah.
And
no,
then
the fuck Konami bandwagon is like, come on, really? And he's like, oh, that makes me money.
Then he's like, I'll never buy Survive, and there's a journalist side and then there's a opinion side. I'm like, no, Young, if you're gonna be a journalist, then don't be doing an opinion piece. You have to be a journalist. You can't just fucking.
If you ever hear, I've always said, if you're ever reading an article or watching a video, it's news or journalist. If you ever hear the word "I" or "me," fucking turn it off. Or if you don't turn it off, read it with a grain of salt because it could be just opinion. You know what I mean? Because like Philip DeFranco, the YouTuber Philip DeFranco, he does occasionally throw his opinion in there, but he says, that's just my opinion. What is your opinion? I want to know your thoughts on this. He doesn't say, but he doesn't say like, this is my opinion is fact. No. And that's what a lot of news organizations do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
well, there is,
anyway, moving on.
Facts information. It applies for everything. There's many sides to a story. Journalism will one, right? Like it's better to have the whole general umbrella view of something, but at the same time, there's still many sides to it.
Yeah, exactly. I think the moderate way is probably the best way to go in regards to just anything, just any topic or anything, because if you're on one side or the other, you will get I feel, in my opinion, you'll get too lost in that side.
If it's not tangible and you can't touch it, it's probably fake.
Yeah.
Just live about your life, get hit by the cars in your world, not like some other world, right?
Exactly.
Like, make news relevant to your life. Stop paying attention to what's happening elsewhere. Right?
Exactly.
But like, I did try to get back, try to at least talk to Young, and I even messaged the Codec, people on Twitter, and I'm like, hey, could you relay a message to Young? I would like to talk to him or whatever. And they're like, oh, he's got his Twitter. I'm like, well, I'm blocked, And then they're like, well, I can't help you there. I'm like, you people talk to Young. What? You're on the Codec with him. You're on Skype with him. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I do want to point out, which is weird to me at least, that the whole time I had David Hayter on, not once did he mention Big Boss, but he kept doing the Solid Snake impression, kept throwing the lines out there.
I still gotta give you this.
Yeah. True.
I mean, it's. I mean, what was weird?
I've thanked you for it on live air.
Yeah, the whole bit with him and that was funny because like he's like, oh, Futa.
Calling me Puna Snake?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
He's like, oh, okay, Futa, not Puta. I was like, yeah.
I will accept the title. Like, oh, you should have seen me yesterday at freaking Canada Day.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask about your name?
Puna Snake?
Yeah, I've been really curious. Fuda in referring to
Fudanari,
Fudanari,
yes.
right? Yeah, that's what I thought. And so when David Hayter said Fuda on the podcast, I lost it. I was like, David Hayter just said Fuda. I mean, round of applause.
But
being trans, I figured it's okay. The origin of Fuda is not actually Fudanari, right? I mean, part of it is. But the biggest thing from Fuda was I was looking into like understanding 204863, and there's like I think it's called Garaway's number system or something like that, where it's a Japanese. It's like 573 reads Konami, right? Like it's using numbers in place of syllables. And I needed a Twitter handle because I just had like my regular shitposting one with too much personal information or something like this, right? So I needed to come up with something. Playing the name game is always like fun. So I was kind of playing with that, and I'm like, well, let's see if I can like come up with a snake name of some sorts, like something original. It's not just like Solid Snake 55, or you know, like it's. So I was just thinking though, like, Chew Snake. I saw that Fuda there, and I'm like, well, that's me, right? Like, so the entire purpose of Twitter was like to message Snake because he says contact me J in PT.
Yeah.
All right, like I'll talk to Jay. What's up? So it was Fuda Snake. I mean, part of it is Fuda, but at the same time, literally just means to snake because it's supposed to be like an account to talk to.
But still, I think the best part of that podcast is when when Reaper got David Hayter to say Fuda. 10 out of 10.
But you know, he was a laid back guy and stuff. It's just I don't know. It was weird. It was like he was marketing for Solid Snake. You know.
Yeah, well, definitely like the first original.
I mean, he kept like throwing it in between, and I
Yeah.
was like, "That's weird. Why would you?"
That features Sony.
And also,
Maybe he gets used to it, you know? He gets used to, I don't know, to make a snake impression all the time.
Also, didn't the Assassin's Creed movie was made by Sony, right?
Yeah. I think.
He also didn't he also shit talk the Scorpion King too?
Yeah.
That was great. If I ever review that movie, I'm just going to use that clip from David Hayter where he's like, it seemed like a, made-for-TV movie.
But, like, okay, it's weird that Assassin's Creed was made Sony because the Python Selkin brothers are actually in the Assassin's Creed movie.
Yeah.
Huh?
Which is another.
Like half of us are like, wait, what?
Yes.
Yeah, no, like they were posting pictures of the sets for years. Well, not years, but months. In years. Okay, whatever. But yeah, I've long suspected that there's paid actors in all this, right? Like it's being fed information, saying what needs to be said. Blah blah blah. The production value is like fucking insane for a theorist, right?
You're talking about Python Selkins?
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like,
At the same time, I mean, Ocelot says it best: is we could be here all day if we're gonna start calling people spies, right? Like, nobody's gonna admit that they're fucking spies. So hey, like, people think I'm Kojima himself online, all right? Like,
but just like the Joaquin Morgan, Twitter is actually still active, and I talked to him a little bit, and he actually claims that he plays the baby in Death Stranding.
No shit.
I don't believe that Twitter is official by any means. There was a few that popped up at the same time. I know the official one that I had seen was inactive for the longest time, and I know the other one was inactive, but this one was like even more so. Like as soon as the reveal ended, that it would stop being used. So I'm not fully sure in regards to that. Like again, we could be here all day calling people spies or real.
Yeah, well, I was involved with Metal Gear as well. Do you remember that rock in Scene 4? Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's one thing, is people assume that I'm just making stories up, but despite going by the name of FIB, I am one of the most honest people to exist, really, because I believe that in our generation that we aren't going to have privacy anymore, therefore you can't live a life of shame anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how you get blackmailed. That's how you, like, if I'm listening to your phone calls and I hear things that you're going to be ashamed of, now I've got those recorded, guess what? You can't do anything, like, as a political activist or anything, because I'm just going to shame you into, like, doing nothing with your life, you know? Like, it's... I was actually talking about this on the way here, with my mom in regards, like, I'm gonna be a little explicit here, but, like, say somebody got a hold of my dick pics and they start sending it to my family as blackmail, I'm not going to care because I'm already weird enough, right? Like, show my grandma my dick, I'm okay with that because it happens, right? Like, you want to try to attack them, like, guess what? It's not going to fucking work.
just be like, Grandma, listen, okay? It's just a body part. Like, that's understandable.
When I was 3, I actually dropped down my pants, like, in front of her. I was in this, like, little swimming pool, and I was like, you want some of this, man? No idea what brought it on, no context. I've always told this story, and everybody's always laughing. Like, oh, you want some of this, man? But, yeah, apparently just, like, outright just grabbed it, like, swung it at her. Swung what I had.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, that's good.
But what was it? Oh, and also, it's funny because I think Young is just kind of a little salty. Because if you go to, I don't know about now, but I looked up who Kojima follows. He doesn't follow Young. He actually follows PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And if you watch PewDiePie's videos, every once in a while he'll pull out a sound thing of Metal Gear or something, and then when
I gotta cut you off here. PewDiePie had a video where, like, right after the reveal of Death Stranding, he's wearing the Death Stranding T-shirt that supposedly no one could get a hold of.
Yeah. I even tweeted about that. I saw that and I'm like, wait a minute, nobody has Death Stranding T-shirts yet.
I mean, he's one of the biggest YouTubers. He definitely...
I fully admire PewDiePie for, like, what he's done, but I can't stand YouTubers in general.
Yeah. He definitely has influence, you know what I mean? Like, it goes beyond... Like, he was on South Park. I definitely think that someone like Kojima or Konami would be like, okay, we should at least acknowledge this guy. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, like, he could also just have... He could be working with them, he could do some kind of sponsorship, or he could just be friends with the guy, you know what I mean? Like, I know, like, with South Park, the guys in South Park, they still, like, occasionally talk and whatnot. Like, I think when he was sick or something like that, they sent him a thing of cookies.
But, like, he even says he hates the media, you know, and it's like, I think Kojima incorporates him as, like, you know, hey, I'm doing this, but also check this out. You know, I got PewDiePie that's saying hate the media, so don't really believe the media, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sneaky little tactic he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's just, it's all good and fun, and I love this shit, you know, and and I hate it when people are just so blinded they can't see shit. Like, that tweet I did, or whoever we, you know, post stuff, and it's like, no, this is the way it is. It's like, no, you gotta open your eyes, man. You gotta open your mind. You know. And, because, like, I had people tweeting me about that tweet going, well, we'll see what they'll say at E3. They must be preparing. It's like, no, they're not going to say
talk about it at E3.
You have to disarm nukes to get to Chapter 3. Why don't you get that? You know.
I can't agree with all this, but I'm just going to nod my head. See, I personally feel that nuclear disarmament might just be a rat race. You know, like it's sure it's
Yeah.
an experiment.
I could see both sides. That's why I tweeted out that thing where I was just like, the answer to nuclear disarmament is don't build nukes. Durr! I mean, if you really want that trophy so bad, but do you want Chapter 3?
Yeah, well, exactly. It's just
So.
Them not posting the numbers for the longest time has always been like very suspect. Because that really people's like efforts, right? It's like, oh, well, not shit, right? So that's where I kind of got the idea that it's all futile because, to be honest, our world right now has never been more peaceful because of nukes. You know, like it's that mutually assured destruction that is actually keeping this world alive. We're staying away from wars. We're not at war with Russia. We're not at war. You know, like it's. Nukes have actually kept peace in this world, and that's one of the things that's brought up, like especially in Peacewalker from Pat Colton, is that mutually assured destruction is peace. Nukes existing is peace. That as soon as nukes aren't around, I can just invade your fucking base. And you can't do shit about it, right? Like it's such a complicated task, and that's why, honestly, full-on nuclear disarmament. There's always going to be somebody with fucking nuke. Are you kidding me? Like, there's nuclear submarines carrying like 6 warheads or 12 warheads each for a reason, right? Like, do you report those or do you not?
Right.
Exactly. But like, you know, and the thing is, there's a lie in the whole you have a nuke thing. I figured that one out because I developed a couple nukes, and it always gets stolen, no matter what, by anybody.
Yeah.
And everybody gets evaded, and then the whole lie of you won't get evaded unless...
Tab, not even, right?
Do what?
The nuke tab, just generally just being shitty, where it's like, oh, you need to be in the same rank, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, so that increases the efforts that we need by like 10-fold or 100-fold, right? Like, it's just,
Exactly.
oh, we need people in each rank disarming nukes now? Like, oh, like the guys who are AAA+, how are you gonna, you know... You get them
Seriously.
down. Like, oh, when they put a blockade up, you can't invade their base for a fucking month.
Yeah. It's like, what?
There's no way to win this. Like, oh, somebody failed an infiltration on this high-end base. All right, well, good luck. You can't try for another month. How are you supposed to disarm those? Like, oh, 12 attempts. That's a year, man.
And there's even, I don't know if it's true, but there's even reports that there's Konami-owned bases. That it's just, it's one base.
There are bots accounts that just have like 16 nukes, and it's like no soldiers, no nothing. They have stupid names like Bob or Frank.
Or what about the passerby who doesn't really know any of this? You know what I mean? Who has nukes?
Yeah, that's just it. Is like this entire mystery is catered to those people who don't question things. Like it's. Like there's 2 different worlds. Either you question it all or you don't question anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that,
I mean, we were talking about this on my Discord of him working with Rooster Teeth, which was a very well-known studio who made Red vs. Blue, right? Like 2 opposing factions. Truth seekers and doubters, right? Like it's this war is peace, to quote Skullface. Like, this is chapter 3. Everything we're doing in regards to talking about these theories, talking about nuclear disarmament, everything like that is chapter 3, because the only way you can see those title credits is by looking at the game cuts, which is breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. It's making it, almost putting it in real life.
Well,
yeah.
If nuclear disarmament, everybody stops playing Metal Gear Solid 5, right? Like, it's, you want this going as long as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it never actually ends, guess what? Konami wins.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and it's so funny that it's like after E3, it's like, oh, by the way, we have to postpone Survive to 2018, and it's like, Death Stranding's coming out in 2018, supposedly.
Well, exactly. I've always wondered if that's like the online component, right?
Yeah.
MGO Online, that's fighting with sticks, but cooperative, now that's fighting with ropes, right? Like it's
Exactly. It's
Yeah, but something really interesting is that I haven't seen gameplay of the Metal Gear Survive of this E3. Well,
No,
I haven't seen it, the gameplay. I just seen the screenshots of the game.
Mm.
It's all very private, right? All these sorts of people got to play it, so it's like a press release. But nobody released any press about it other than the screenshots, really, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why.
And also, Young was in there, and it's funny because I saved the picture of Young in the booth with the Death Stranding shirt, and I'm like, it's gonna come out later, and you're gonna feel like an idiot, Young.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. You were standing right there.
like, Young is okay. Westworld is a very interesting show. It's very much about critical thinking. If you pay attention, you can solve the biggest twist in the show in episode 2, just like I did, right? Like it all came together. I kept adding more dots, adding more strings, connecting this to this to this. But from episode 2, I knew what happened in regards to William and Black. But Max Landis, a Hollywood screenwriter who's known for he just produced Channel Zero, also Dirk Gently. He's doing the American Werewolf in London remake. But he was 150% adamant that I was wrong, and he was like calling me out on Twitter, like, "Oh, I'm right about all the Westworld theories. Everybody else is wrong." Blah blah blah. He goes ahead and like, "Oh, I bet you don't even have a girlfriend." Like he was just like being a fucking twat, to put it bluntly. And guess what? He was 100% fucking wrong about this show.
150% wrong.
Well, yeah. No, I'll go to 100% at this point. Like, he was so wrong that it's like giving him negatives. Like, but I called him out on it, like expecting a little bit of recognition because this went on for weeks. Like every time an episode came out, I'd kind of message him because he would post his views and whatever else. And by the end of it, he just ended up insulting me and calling a friend into the fight because he can't back himself up on the internet, right? Like it's so. From that moment on, I kind of knew that I might be right with this like Metal Gear theories and shit because, like, I just took down a Hollywood screenwriter when it comes to critical thinking.
Yeah.
And now he's like, "Oh, Westworld's a shitty show, and my show's the best." Meanwhile, in this show, like, you could have fucking Goku break through the wall, and it's like, "Oh, that's canon. That's normal."
What show does he have?
It's Dirk Gently. It's the holistic detective, but Westworld is beautiful because you could see what was happening in the second episode if you paid attention, like a detective show, right? That is the beauty of a detective show, is being able to follow the mystery as a viewer. Whereas Dirk Gently literally just has like, "Oh, well, actually, there's time travel here." You're like, okay, I guess. Nothing brought that up until suddenly, hey, guess what? There's time travel. Like,
That's not the right way to write a story.
No.
Everybody has plot armor. Like, it's just, where's the suspense? Like, if you can't expect something, there's no anticipation for anything, right? It's just like, oh, okay, well, I'm just waiting to see what other random fucking shit happens now. I'll watch fail videos on YouTube. I'll get more entertained.
Well, just like the Blair Witch sequel, or the Blair Witch 2 or whatever, where it's like, oh, all of a sudden the Blair Witch has time traveling powers, and it's like, what? That made no sense.
Are we talking about the Blair Witch 2, or are we talking about this new 2016 one?
The new it's a sequel that,
Oh, okay. I was saying about Blair Witch 2, which is probably one of the worst films of all time.
Yeah, but like supposedly they found this tape, and they're like, "Oh, it's a tape of my sister." I do believe it's like a blur of a woman going past the screen, and later on they get into spooky shit, and then one of the main characters is a woman, and she goes across the mirror with the camera. And it's the exact same footage, and it's like, oh, it's a time travel thing. It's like, what? Blair Witch is a witch, not a time traveler. It makes no sense.
There's the X-Files. The X-Files, man.
If you time travel to the past with future technology, they're gonna call you a witch, okay, man?
You're a witch. But guys, I think that's all the time I have on this episode. I really appreciate you guys for joining, and especially Buddha Snake, Gray Bush, and Deado. It's been an honor and awesome, and also this is an honor